my current take. Wobble was just asking me if I wanted to do a RUPES discussion. I'm not ready for that yet. I need some more time with it. So here's what it's done to me. Now I hate all of them, except for this. So I hate all the polishers except for this one. Have I told you people you need to go buy this thing yet? You need to do it right now. All right, I polished a little bit. I think I probably did 4 or 5 hours on Sunday, maybe 3 hours, something like that. So I didn't polish on Saturday, but I've got the fenders, the front bumpers done. So obviously we finished the hood. So I've just been doing compounding. So the hood is completely done. All of this is compounded, half the roof, mirror, all this. I did these react a little bit differently, a little less, quite a bit less red came off of the side skirts. You can see it's a little bit different color. All this is done. This fender came out great. So the fender is darn near perfect. Using a lot of rotary on like these edges, these top edges here. One problem area, see this here? So clearly this thing has been rubbed on a lot. So I purposely, because I could see this was already there, and so I purposely didn't hit this with any compound, and then just one with the foam pad went right through it. So just got to be careful with edges on, you know, like holding on edges like this. The rear bumper's done. And again, I'm going for like 80%. I'm not chasing deeper scratches, but it's really good. I mean, it's coming out really, really nice. And like there's like a deep scratch right there. So a lot of those deeper nicks and scratches I'm not going for that I could probably get out, but I don't want to end up with a bunch of failed spots. And so a couple of things I've learned thus far, having spent, you know, several hours on the machines. Mirka, I haven't grabbed any other 3-inch. Just I want to use this thing all the time. The RUPES with foam is magical. With wool, kind of sucks. It just walks around. Now, on any side contours where it's not sitting flat on the paint, it doesn't walk. It's nice and comfy. It's a whole lot less vibration. There's like 60% less vibration than the Milwaukee. But the one thing that's shocking is this guy. I did about half the car with this. So I hate to say it, but I think that this is the best polisher that exists. I'm not joking. Like, I can't believe it. It's just so much more balanced, so much easier to use. It doesn't stall. It's not quite as smooth on the side panels as the RUPES, you know, the cordless new RUPES, the HLR 15. I did get out the RUPES corded just to kind of compare. This is way more balanced as far as how it sits. It's quieter, smoother. It hurts my soul. It's this $200 thing. It's freaking great. So anyway, I've been using this a lot. Mainly on this side of the car because I could easily walk out and blow it out. And so as I've transitioned to the other side of the car, I've been forcing myself to use the RUPES. So I don't know, I've got several more cars to work on over the course of the next month. So that's just what I know to this point, but I'm going to keep, you know, forcing myself to use some of the other polishers. So when I'm using this, I'll run it as slow as I possibly can, so speed 1 is as slow as we go. I don't need the extension on here, but it's just easier. I found that if I don't rotary this part, my wager is if I had a rotary, I'd probably be using it on the darn car. I gave up my RUPES rotary a while back and haven't bought another one. It's making me want to get one again. Because this 2-stage paint, I pretty much guarantee it would be doing great. So any little like peak right here, I can tell it's already sort of worn, kind of like that the side of the trunk. So I just won't polish that part right there. So we'll just go around it. But I mean, just listen to this thing, just how freaking amazing it is. Just super smooth and quiet. I'm running it at like 50% speed. It has tons and tons of power. Doesn't stall very, you know, you gotta really work to stall it. It's hard to stall the thing. And because you're not doing a 3-inch in bulk, I mean, I want it to have a trigger lock, but having the variable speed trigger where I can adjust, and you can hear I can kind of adjust the machine depending on what I need it to do, is really nice. So I actually washed the pads and blew them out, so this is my second go with the pad. But all this stuff is going to be completely ruined. Other than the mess, it's really not any more difficult. It's actually pretty soft paint, pretty easy to correct. You know, if this was a newer car, well, I guess it wouldn't be single stage if it was newer, but if it wasn't such an old car, I wouldn't be micromanaging it so much. I'd just be polishing it, not worried about it. But look at that. And that's still haze. I mean, you may not be able to see it on camera, but there's quite a bit of haze left in comparison to what it finishes out. The other thing I noticed is that the last cut, the finishing polish, you can really overwork it, and then it gets really hard to get off. So I've been trying to avoid that. So what I'm gonna do is just take the two machines, and you can see the shininess. We're gonna blow that out. And so I have all-purpose cleaner in the bucket. I've been letting them soak overnight, and then I just take them out here and just blow them out. That's what they look like when they're semi-clean. Let them dry in the sun, and then I'll take them in, let them dry overnight, and then use them next day. I haven't really found a, you know, sometimes when pads get loaded up, like I haven't found the pads continue to cut, they continue to work. So I've just been replacing them out of, see, this is what it looks like after it's somewhat clean. I could probably get it a little cleaner if I use some like Dawn or something on it. Grio's microfiber or pad cleaner. So these were the ones that I soaked in APC and just blew out. So, and then we'll just throw these pads away once I'm done with these cars. But I haven't found it, like, normally, like if I'm using microfiber, I'll notice the thing isn't cutting anymore, and I haven't found a pad to stop working, even though it looks like it's super loaded up. I've been using a lot more product than I normally do. I just feel like the paint's accepting it, needs it. Actually, no, before I do that, I wanted to do this. Again, this extension, unnecessary, but there's been some areas where the extension was necessary, so I just left it on. So that's the short neck. Short neck, long neck. Short neck's really one-hand operation. If I could only have one, I would do the long neck. But I like having both. I might actually finish polishing this thing tomorrow. Man, I love that polisher so much. Ooh, some nasty scratches there. I'm gonna do a fresh pad, do that one more time. This red certainly is fun though to look at. I'll bring this down a bit. So what happens is when people are drying or probably detail spray wiping, they come in here with a towel, and so there's all these straight line scratches. And the only way I can get them out is with the rotary. So I can get a good chunk of them out, but for some reason, there's a bunch of scratches all along here that aren't going to come out, but I might be able to make it look a little bit better. Let me get a couple of fresh pads here. This is the slowest speed it goes. Here. Oh yeah, much better. And there's low risk here because chances are in the past no one's really polished this stuff here. And look, we're yanking some paint. All those scratches all the way down there, and then boom, no scratches. It's great. Pretty legit. And I think that's just compounded, not finished. Really nice. That's still got a little bit of water in it. Just got to be careful in this contour that we don't dig into it. That's why I was using the rotary on it, because I found that the edge of my backing plate was digging into that little channel there. And so if I come up like this, I'm okay. And so that's when I started rotarying these tight little edges. I'm using quite a bit of pressure too. I'm pushing down quite a bit. Yeah. It would improve those scratches a ton. Again, what I'm looking for on this car is that if I can improve it and have to really look for the scratch, then we're in good shape. Need to get me a old school glaze and just fill it all in. Yep. All right, let's come back up a bit. So we got a lot of haze from the rotary. So blow out. I think I already did blow that out. So raise the car up and do this big section. See, the machine wants to walk around. See, this is what I'm fighting with. I'm having to hold that rotation and take it off on me, which makes it not such a great user experience. But it doesn't do that with foam. That's why I wonder if the 21 is a little more balanced on these shorter pads. fenders on this. That looks freaking good. Wait to finish it. I have found on this paint that the finishing is way more impactful and important than it is on most other paint systems that I've done. It's almost like finishing just a formality, but on how soft and pliable this single stage stuff is, it makes a big difference to finish it. I also haven't done the windows yet, so I'll polish those really quickly. So this is where I don't want to use the RUPES. I want to use the LE on the roof. Just so much smoother. The RUPES is like trying to rip the thing out of my hands. So we should have these in the store next month. I believe they're in transit. The trunk turned out great. So I did finish, I haven't finished the wing, but I did finish out the trunk. It looks freaking sweet. And I put the wing back, I took the wing off, polished underneath it. Turned out great. It was pretty jacked up. Now it looks awesome. Paint's really good. Just sits so nice and upright. Like it's not walking on me. If I do this with a RUPES, it'll be all over the frickin' place. Pretty sweet, man. Shocked. Roof's got a lot of pitting and rock chipping and stuff, but if I get out all the scratches, like we just did, makes it look good. All right, so let me show you how I do the glass. So the glass is looking pretty good here. I just like to clean it, deep clean it. So I've taped all around it already. You could use glass polish, which I'm not going to use. I'm just using regular polish. This stuff is gross, nasty, hard to use. This will actually do some minor correcting, which I'm not looking to correct. I'm looking to more just deep clean it so it'll accept my glass coating. Not sure what I'm going to put on this yet. Got a bunch of glass coatings to test out. So I'm going to grab an old McGuire's microfiber pad. I guess new, but I use the RUPES pads now. Put some cut max on it. You can really just put anything on here. Just looking to clean it. Crank it all the way up. Or maybe not. That's it. Just go over a couple of times and clean it off. So I'm just looking to strip off any waxes, sealants, coatings, anything that's on the surface before I coat it with whatever I'm going to coat it with new. And so I'll do that to the windshield, do that to all the glass. Glass looks really good on this car. Yeah. Telling you, if you're in the market for a E30, especially after I'm done with this thing, this one's really nice. Really, I mean, there's a few little deeper scratches and things that, telling you, there wasn't a single rattle. The interior looks great. I'm going to make the interior look even better. We're going to get all the shininess out of it, or at least some of it. I mean, look at that fender. And just wait till I finish it out. I have finished this, so this fender I've finished. Now there's some deeper stuff on this, but it looks great. I have to do this here. Finish the roof, finish the glass. Just keep plugging away. Yeah, well, let me do this window while I'm here. Man, if you're working outside, this vent blows right in your face. It's crazy. you're in the heat. It's like this thing goes, just blows right in your eyeballs. It's great. Sometimes you got a wet pad, it makes a freaking mess. So yeah, the Milwaukee just works. Thing sure does vibrate more, but man, it's almost like now I hate all of them. You know, it's like I find something I don't like about all of them. I was perfectly fine, but there's things I like about the RUPES a lot. It's smooth as silk. It stalls a lot. It walks a lot with microfiber and with wool. The Milwaukee is much more balanced, even though the battery is kind of clunky and sticking out the side. It's just, I don't know, it's just ergonomically, as I'm using it, it's not as ergonomic as the RUPES, but it just feels better. Like it just makes more sense. And then the Milwaukee is chattery and has a lot more vibration, but it doesn't have, like, it's not walking around. It's just, even though it's a lot heavier, like all the weight to me is transferred to the paint. I don't know, man. It's just, I think what we need is we need a Mirka 5-inch is what we need, and then that would solve the whole question, the whole conundrum. Who knows? Maybe the LE battery powered will be the ticket. I can pretty much guarantee you when I'm finishing, I'm going to use the RUPES the whole time. Lighter, smoother, quieter. But when I'm cutting, I like this better. The other thing, the battery on this lasts a whole lot longer. Not that that really matters because you got two of them. But the battery doesn't die. Meaning, the way that this works, there's no ramp down, so it doesn't like lose power and then turn off. The RUPES kind of loses power, and then you recognize it's losing power. So this stays at full output, full capacity the whole way through, and then it will just, you know, it'll go dead. So it goes from 100% output to dead. The RUPES will slowly ramp down, kind of like the Flex does too. So if I don't go straight from the RUPES to the Milwaukee, I don't really notice the vibration much. But if I use the RUPES and then grab the Milwaukee, it feels like a chatterbox. Yeah, the roof looks pretty good on this. I mean, there's a lot of weirdness going on here from bird droppings and acid rain and stuff over the years, but we just made it 50% better. Maybe a little more. All right, now we can do the door. Fender's done. So I needed the door, this, and that. Side skirt, door jam. Oh, jeez, door jam. Other windows. I guess I got a long way to go, eh? This is why I need a big garage at my house, because then I'd be more efficient, or less, depending on the day.
Yeah.
Even though it's only a mile away, I'm like, I don't want to come back and do it.
Yeah, if you had like the outdoor kitchen attached to the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Fred's situation. You just walk outside, grill the steak.
Yep.
Get back in there.
Get back at it. I like this though.
No, that was when they did it right. They
Yeah.
didn't go gloss.
So much better. It's freaking 30 years old, lasts forever. Looks great. Yeah, this thing's gonna shine up. Should I interrupt this video for a paid ad by me? So something we were talking about here today we recognized is that our garage design team, you know, if you want your garage to be designed like this and want us to help you figure out and outfit all your detailing stuff, your lighting, flooring, cabinets, all that stuff, we can certainly do that for you. And for the really big projects that take, you know, dozens and dozens, 20 plus hours to working with architects, contractors, we charge a fee. It's $2,500. That goes toward, you know, me covering the cost of all the humans to do all that work. But for most of you, where you just need some basic stuff, we realized that was turning a lot of people away from garage design. If you need help with just your flooring, just your lighting, just your cabinets, we don't charge anything for that. So make sure to go to the design page. We'll put a link in the description, and it says, you know, inquire. What does it say? Ask a question or something like that to design. Click the button. It'll send an email to design. It'll get you in the queue. If you need some help with something more sophisticated than just buying a polisher or buying a set of tools, if you needed something or you needed the expertise of the team, we'll make sure to get you, one of our people. So go to the design tab on obsessedgarage.com, click on the form, fill it out, and then the guys will reach out to you and help you out. So wanted to make you aware of that it, you know, 25. If you're buying a $10,000 stuff for the garage or stuff, $10,000 worth of stuff in the garage, you don't need $2,500 worth of design. So we recognize that, and don't hesitate to reach out, because we're happy to help. End of ad. Back to polishing. So we'll do the same thing we did to the fender across the door here. So I'm not going to be able to really get all these scratches out of the door handle here. I'm mainly just looking to clean it up a little bit. I'd run too much risk of blowing through the paint. So you notice I've been doing the bulk wipe with the plush towel. I'm doing the final wipe with the low pile towel. Man, I should just rotary this whole frickin' car and respond so well to it. I'm not even gonna look at that because I know that I didn't get it, but I know that I improved it, because otherwise I'm gonna wanna keep hammering on it, and it's not a wise move. I feel like this door is like really soft, like paint just flying off of this thing. I think we measured a lot more paint on this side than that side. Can't do it. I gotta blow it out every single time. So going back to dual action and the long neck to do this A-pillar here. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's so cool here. The lighting in here is so darn good, I don't even need lights. All my fancy lighting, my $1,800 fancy lighting package. Maybe that's a selling point for your Cree lighting package from us. Get Cree lights so you don't need lights, other lights. Looks better. Shine it up a little bit when we finish polish it. Nice. All I have left is the door and the door jamb. So I was able to do a little bit bigger area there, just simply because I'd done a lot of the edge work with the rotary already. Man, when it looks good, it looks freaking great. Let's do this section, then we'll 3-inch all this. Have I told you people you need to go buy this thing yet? You need to do it right now. I really do want to try it. I'm going to test out and see what Perfect Finish does to this paint. Because it would be a much better experience finishing if I had something that wiped off a little better. I'm going to try it. It's amazing how quickly that thing can correct. I wonder if I'm running the darn machine too long. All right, so let's do a test spot with some Perfect Finish. See if I can avoid having the pain of, because that last step or last cut finishing polish is really annoying on this paint anyway. Let's see, we're looking pretty good here. Yep. Yeah. So much easier to get off. I could work it longer. I think we're going to be good. Yep. Took all the haze out, shined it up. Wipes off like a dream. I could work it for darn near forever. It's clearly still cutting, and then, you know, if you look at the pad, there's a whole lot of red on there. That's nice. I'll take it. Yep. That's the ticket. Now I gotta go around the whole frickin' car like that. All right, in summary, I'm doing the finishing polish. I ended up using Sonex Perfect Finish. So to summarize my take on this car and what's worked thus far is Last Cut Plus for cutting, correcting, followed with, I was using the final polish, but I found this really difficult to remove, and I felt like if I worked it as much as I felt like I needed to work it, that it was even harder to remove. And so I just gave it a shot, threw some Perfect Finish on there just to see what would happen. I also did a post-wipe with pretty aggressive with G-Technic panel wipe, make sure I wasn't just filling in, and actually looked really good. So you can actually see the difference here. I did this on the hood earlier. See this hazy spot? That's what it looks like unfinished. That's what it looks like finished. And so if I go around the whole car, actually the rest of the car, so I haven't completed the finishing of the whole car yet. The whole car actually looks like this, which looks great. But when you compare it to the finished product, doing Perfect Finish on the whole thing cleans up all that haze. So I also used several different machines on this, going back and forth. So here's my current take. Wobble was just asking me if I wanted to do a RUPES discussion. I'm not ready for that yet. I need some more time with it. So here's what it's done to me. Now I hate all of them, except for this. So I hate all the polishers except for this one. Here's why. So I got the RUPES LHR out, the base, the standard. So I got the standard LHR 15 out, used this. I grabbed the Griots, which is a good beginner polisher, 250, 260 bucks. And then, of course, I was using the new RUPES. The new RUPES with foam is magical. With wool or microfiber is not so much fun. And actually, it's okay on all the side panels with foam, because I'm not like sitting, you know, with the pad directly in one position. And so all the flat panels of the car, I ended up putting this thing aside and either grabbing the Milwaukee or the LE. So it's making me wonder if I need multiple machines for maximum performance here. So this in finishing on any panel is magical, but this ruins the Milwaukee for me, because now the Milwaukee feels grindy and heavy. But I do like the Milwaukee's battery position better than this. This, I find myself on certain panels hitting the battery. Luckily they added this kind of soft rubberized feel to this. I did find myself at times hitting on, you know, some of these contours of the car. So I like the ergonomics and lightness of this, but I actually like when this is flat on the car, despite the fact this weighs twice as much, I do like this kind of awkward, weird position holding the Milwaukee. The Milwaukee doesn't stall as much. The Milwaukee feels great. Like if I haven't polished yet today, if I go and I use this, it feels fantastic. If I grab the RUPES, polish for 5 minutes, and then grab this, it feels like this thing is vibrating me to death. So I guess it's all relative to, you know, what you're considering. Milwaukee works with all pads, works great with all pads, tall pads, short pads, microfiber pads, everything. The other thing I did is I went and grabbed a LHR 21. I put the 5-inch backing plate on it just to see. Maybe it's just the programming of the 15. And I threw, that's why I have this little haze part here, because I needed to test out the pad. So I used that wool pad with the LHR 21 and a 5-inch backing plate, same thing. It wants to like run away from me, which is kind of annoying. Then this guy beats those two, hands down, not even close. So I guess I need to punt the LHR 15. 200 bones-ish. This is like the beginner's dream because it just sits flat. Like its tendency is just to sit here nice and flat. All I have to do is just put a thumb weight on it and the thing stays upright and flat, doesn't stall. I don't like how long this is. I'm gonna talk to him and try to freaking cut this thing off. I don't understand why you would need this. This is for ultimate beginner. We don't want to be teaching beginners to hold it like this. You want to hold it like that. And so having this big long gooseneck kind of thing on here, I find annoying. But it's super balanced. It's actually smoother than both the LHR, certainly the Griots. Makes the Griots feel, again, if I grab the Griots and use it, it feels great. But if I grab this and then the Griots feels like a grindy gearbox, just like the Milwaukee. So I ended up doing half the darn car with this sucker, and just dealt with the fact that I have to deal with the power cord. The RUPES Nano, I found myself using this one almost none. This is a good, $200 cordless 1-inch option, but the Nano is still, far superior. This doesn't stall as much, but it doesn't have as much sort of power, if you will. It doesn't have as much speed. And then in rotary mode, I just found the RUPES to be so much better. But the summary of all this rambling is that I need to get Mirka to make me a freaking 5-inch, because now I hate all my 5 inches, because they all have things that I didn't know that I cared about, and now I know because I'm using these new and improved machines. All have their own quirks, all have their own pros and cons. The only con to this guy is that, well, now it's freaking red because of this car, but it doesn't have a trigger lock, and so I have to stay on the machine. But I do find that this is very similar in operation in that it has a variable speed to the pneumatic. They're similar size, similar profile. This has infinitely more torque and capability than this does. The cool thing about this guy is it has a 15mm orbit. But I haven't found myself using this at all now that we have this guy, because it's so freaking smooth. So anyway, that's the wrap up for the polishing part. I'm gonna go through and finish the gar. Every time I touch anything, I have to go wash my hands. This pink is everywhere. But I'm surprised, it's not as dirty as I thought. The other takeaway from the E30 is that it has the best glass I've ever seen. Like, just absolutely amazing. like clarity. I mean, this glass is, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the original glass. I don't think it has a date on it. I mean, it's got a BMW sticker on it. I don't think the glass has been replaced in this thing. It's the same thing on this car. The glass is just magical. So that's my takeaway. The coolest part of the E30 thus far, other than the look without wheels on it, is the glass. You know, I'm such a weirdo. I always like the things that nobody else cares about. So anyway, thanks for watching polishing. I'll come back to you when it's time to coat it. I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna coat this car, and I think I'm gonna wax that car. Just makes sense to me. The only thing that we're gonna have to figure out, that Drew's gonna have to figure out, the only bad spot was this here, this little burn through spot. I mean, I'm telling you, because this was already there, I kind of figured that this was pretty beat up. Same thing the other side. All I did was one turn with the foam pad, because I didn't even hit it with the wool, and right through it. So in other words, this section here has probably been rotoried or polished on in the past. But the car has turned out really, really nice. I'd say it's a 85%er. When I do the final finish out, I finished most of the hood and finished the roof. It's gonna really, really pop. Get rid of some of this haze and stuff. But I'm gonna work on that, you know, tonight, tomorrow, and then get back to, I'll do the wheels with you on camera. We'll do the coating with you. We'll do the glass treatment with you on camera. We'll do the interior. So we've got a lot of work to do still. Interior is going to be a pretty significant transformation. Get some of that shiny out of all the leather inside. And then once we get this done, we'll tackle this guy. If you're looking for, I'm telling you, if you're looking for a 92,000 mile car, other than this little spot here, this is probably up there in niceness of E30s, especially at this price point now. I mean, this now, after I've worked my magic to it, this has, you know, if it didn't have the mileage on it, it's probably $150,000, you know, equivalent in cleanliness and how nice and put together this car is. I'm telling you, not a single frickin' rattle inside of it. It's a really nice car. If I wanted an E30, I'd be thinking about this thing. See you in the next video.